Dow surges above 30,000 for the first time as investors cheer transition to Biden administration. What a nice title that article says, as investors cheer to Biden administration. U.S. stocks jumped on Tuesday as the start of the transition to Biden administration spurred another rotation to cyclical stocks. Dow Jones Industrial rose about 30,000 for the first time ever. Boeing led the benchmark index higher, followed by Chevron and JP Morgan. The new record caps a benchmark rebound from the start of the pandemic when the overwhelming bearishness dragged the index as low as 18,213 in March. So why, Adam, are we over 30,000 with the Dow?
I mean, this is exciting stuff. I'm not going to get into the political. Do I think this is all Biden? Not, clearly not. Do I think this is a lot of Trump, some of Biden, some of Janet Yellen, some of the people being obviously stimulus? This was. How
much of this you think is Trump, Biden, vaccine?
Vaccine for sure.
What
vaccine
would you put at the top of the list? Why we're at 30,000?
Why we're at specifically 30,000?
Why we're at 30,000?
First and foremost, I would put the
vaccine
trillions of dollars that we pumped into the economy over the last 6 months, for sure. That's number one. I mean, number two, vaccine.
Fake. So it's fake, is what you're saying. Is it's fake that it's over 30,000.
I'm saying that it's a little inflated.
Inflated. Okay, fine.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I'm saying stimulus. I'm sorry. I'm saying vaccine. Clearly, if there were no news of a vaccine, let's not forget, COVID's still here, and it's actually getting more rampant and widespread throughout the country. I mean, they said in the fall and in the winter the numbers would go up, and that's exactly what happened. But the fact that
Who's they? Who said they?
People have been saying everyone, the media, left and right.
Yeah.
Okay. Experts, Fauci, whoever you want to put on that list, they've been saying, watch out for a second wave. We've heard this a million times. Does Trump get credit? Sure. Does Biden, not spooking the market and picking super leftist progressives, Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, to be on his cabinet and going with a little more sensible, moderate veterans like Janet Yellen get credit? Sure. Do vaccines, Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca get credit? I don't think this is a one-man show. But most importantly so if we want to give credit can go all around. What I want to convey to the audience is, beginning of the year, I'm not sure if you're a big stock market guy. I'm not like a massive stock market guy, but I'm with it. I believe in the stock market and the power of compound interest. I'm a huge advocate of it. January, where was the Dow? The Dow was at 29,000, somewhere hovering around that number. March, where did the Dow hit? March 20th.
18.2,
18.2, ridiculous. Where are we now in frickin' Thanksgiving? 30,000. So all of my investors out there. Which is exactly
what Trump said was going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, so Trump said exactly that. The Dow is going to go above 30,000 before the end of the year. And they said, you're out of your mind. Well, he said that in April.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he called it.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
But what I'm wondering is how much of it is vaccine, how much of it is Biden, how much of it is Trump? That's what I wonder. Because, it's very hard to say, well, it's because of Trump. Really? Because, what we said after, Trump got elected and he won and Hillary Clinton conceded, what happened to the market the next week? 2 weeks. Boom, it went up.
And they said that when Trump got elected, the stock market would crumble. It
went up. It went up. Yeah.
Correct.
So what I'm trying to say to you is, if they say the credit is Trump, the market went up, okay? But now this time around, they say Biden won. Now it's obviously not over with, but if Trump is sitting there saying, listen, we're going to work with you and start sharing resources, they're kind of heading the direction of saying, we're willing to share resources. Now, he's still tweeting away saying 92% of survey from Newsmax says that I shouldn't concede and I should still hear, but it's Newsmax. Newsmax is, of course,
zero credibility.
92, not zero credibility. Newsmax is going to be one-sided. It's not about zero credibility. Right. It's like CNN is going to be one-sided. MSNBC is going to be one-sided. It's not zero credibility. It's what side they're going to say. It's like, what are your kids going to say about you? All good things about you. Right? It's my dad, right? So, but at the same time, market goes to 30,000 after Biden becomes whatever you want to call a president-elect. What are the investors saying? Are they saying they're optimistic? Because it doesn't make any sense because the Senate's not over with. And anytime all three is on one, like the point I'm trying to make, so many things are going on where trends don't add up right now. When I mean trends don't add up, you got a guy that goes campaigning, no one shows up. Guys are showing up to honk the horn. 50 people are showing up. Another guy is showing up to rallies. 60,000 people are showing up. 25,000 people have to be kicked out. And the other guy wins. It's very weird. And he breaks Obama's record. He breaks everybody. How the hell does that happen? And then now we don't have fully results on who's the president. We don't have full results on what's going to happen in Georgia. There's so many uncertainties. What are investors excited about? What are they excited? There's no certain answers right now.
Well, so here would be my question as kind of a different angle to view it, and I don't know if there's a way to analyze what these figures are, right? But if it goes from 29,000 to south of 20,000, and then in a matter of months goes back later, I would be real curious to know what the figure of 401k and low level, just regular investors, what the percentage of whale size market share owners have now versus 6 months ago versus 12 months ago, right? So there was a huge transfer of wealth, from my perspective, and I'd be curious as to whose hands it went from, because it seems like the average everyday citizen got out of or lost their ass in a lot of these markets, and then now it was picked back up by bigger guys. That's what I would suspect, that there's at least some element of that to it.
What do you mean that the average citizen lost their ass?
So like the people that see the stock market starting to crumble, and they get rid of whatever, and the stock market goes below 20,000, and now all of a sudden some of these guys, there was one story of a hedge fund guy in New York that made like $6 billion in 18 hours or something like that, because it goes down.
Bill Ackman. I believe.
So it goes down to 18, and now these other bigger players scoop up all this, market share at a much lower price, and now it's back up to 29. Again, I'm not necessarily insinuating anything. I would be curious to see if there is a disparity or a huge contrast between what it was in terms of the breakdown, the percentage of how many different people owned certain shares at 28,000 a year ago, what it went down to at 6 months ago, and then what it is now, and see what kind of difference there is, because I would bet that there's a difference.
No, valid questions. Just a couple points. 55% of Americans own some sort of stock. So flip a coin whether this even relates to you or not, meaning, Wall Street, if you're investing in Wall Street, you got some stock. If you're on Main Street, you don't have anything, 401k, stock, what have you. You brought up a point that I actively listen to about not letting your emotions get the best of you when it comes to guns and listening to the facts. If you're an investor out there and you panicked and freaked and let your emotions get the best of you,
I agree.
In February and March,
Yep.
and you sold,
Many
like
did.
Pat said that he knew many people, wealthy people, that freaked out and sold. 6 months later, the joke's on you, buddy. I learned this lesson in 2008 when I just entered the financial services world in 2006, 2007. I went from a broke as a joke party club guy to I made six figures at 27 years old. I was like, holy shit, what do I do all this money? And I developed a save that money mentality because I saw everything around me crumbling. And then people were asking, how much money did you lose in 2008? I was like,
all of it.
Nothing, because I didn't have any freaking money. But I rode the Obama 10-year bull run, and then, which, obviously the Trump bull run, coupled that. And I learned my lesson that if you're going to invest, this is a long-term game. If you're, like a famous line is, you only lose if you jump off the roller coaster. Mm-hmm. The roller coaster is going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to go left, it's right, you're going to get whiplash and all that. You only lose if you jump off. So, I'm very, 80-20 stocks to bonds, but as you get older, to all our older listeners out there, I would encourage you to just take a more, balanced approach and not have 80% stock and freak out that your retirement's gone. Have a little more stabilizing force in bonds.
100 minus your age. 100 minus your age is the formula.
100
minus your age.
Okay, so if you're 40, what are you saying?
60 equities,
60,
40%,
okay,
a
so
little bit
I'm a little more
conservative.
aggressive. I'm still 80-20.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But point is 80-20, 20-40, whatever. Your age matters. Your age is a thing. So the Bill Ackman thing that you brought up, he placed a bet. This is the Big Short movie. We all saw that. He basically shorted the economy. He told people that hell was coming. He made a big bet on the economy. He's doing another one right now. We covered that earlier. What's my point? What's my point here? You talked about emotions. I let the emotions get the best of me in the gun debate. I try not to let my emotions get the best of me when it comes to the economy and the stock market and my money. So
we love you being emotional, Adam. It's just, you're an emotional human being, and you're not a robot, and we love you for it. So that's all there's to it, man. So, but 30,000. We'll see what's going to happen there. I mean, the question now becomes, over the next 4 years, is it going to hover around 30,000 with a Biden administration, or is it going to get close to 40,000?
Where do you think it's going to go?
What's more likely?
Yeah, let's hear about it from the comments.
What's more likely, going to 40 or hovering around 30K?
In my opinion, if this vaccine comes out and there's one more stimulus package that happens, in January, I think we're going to enter the roaring 20s. I really do. I think vaccines here, COVID's in the rearview mirror. Whether you agree with Biden politically or not,
what's changing though to go into roaring 20s? That becomes a question. Okay, what is the difference?
Okay, so a couple of things. Yeah. I think Obama set this trajectory after 2008.
Obama didn't set a trajectory. You have to realize, when you keep saying Obama set a trajectory, Obama came right after a
stimulus package.
No.
Recession, you mean?
Obama came after 2008, where the mortgage bust, the boom, whatever bubble just took off, and all these mortgages in America, no income, no assets, big short, the market took a massive hit. All you had to do was just to make a couple right things for the market to come back up. Market's not going to go to 4,000, 5,000. It was only going to come up. So it's not like it was a Obama economics, like a Reagan economics, that the market's going to come back.
Economics.
No, it was just coming in, doing a couple things, and the market came back up, and not ruffling the feathers, and it came back up.
You're saying Obama doesn't get credit, but Trump does?
I'm not saying Trump or Obama. I'm just saying what Obama did wasn't Obama never met with Paul Ryan, the guy that was running his finances. Obama never sat down and had a conversation. He did it one time, and Paul asked him a couple questions. They never had a meeting again. Paul's like, Obama never meets with me. So
Paul Ryan in the House, you mean?
Yes, Obama wasn't a person that was about economy. That was not Obama. Obama's not an economy person. Okay. Obama was more of a, person that gave you a sense of, okay, he's there, he's by himself, he's poised, he's, good on the news, the way he speaks is calm, it relaxes you when he talks, he doesn't kind of feel like the end of the world. Trump gets on and speaks, you're thinking we're going to go to war, and we never went to war. Obama speaks, you're like, we're not going to go to war, and we were in war. There was always conflicts taking place. I'm asking you, under Biden, there's still a lot of things that we forgot about that were issues a year ago. Brexit was still an issue. Brexit is still not done. China's still an issue. The tariffs are still an issue. Iran is still an issue. Russia's still an issue. Venezuela's still an issue. Oil's still an issue. Debt is still an issue. $24 trillion national debt is still an issue. Obamacare is still an issue. Tax is still an issue. All of these things just disappeared, and they were under the under the rug because of a pandemic. This is all coming back. So if all this stuff is coming back, you're saying the next 4 years it's going to go to 40K?
I'm saying, I'm not saying 40K, but what I am saying is all those issues, go back 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Those issues, there's always issues.
I don't think they go back 20.
I'm saying there's always issues.
30, 40, 50 years.
Whether you're talking Russia, whether you're talking China, whether you're talking communism.
No, I disagree.
Issues, what do you mean?
No. 20 years, China was a big issue? Absolutely not. China was a nobody 20 years ago.
Russia was prior to that.
Russia was,
of course.
But you're talking Russia was. Today you got 50 things in the soup.
So you're saying there's more issues now than there were 20, 30, 40 years ago?
By a mile today. And at the same time, add all of that stuff with social media. The entire conversation you had with Mike has been what? How do you control your emotions to not add social media to it, which means our emotions are at the highest level nonstop. So it's not, sometimes when pre-social media, we were like this, oh my gosh, I can't believe what they said. And they went back to regular life. You didn't check the news 150 times a day. Today you check the news 150 times a day. It's called checking Facebook. Yeah. So 150. So your emotions 20 years ago were like, oh my gosh, and you come back then. Now it's like, oh my gosh, what? Go to sleep. Oh my goodness, that's what we're going through right now. So you add all of that stuff together. I don't know. I'm just curious to know what's going to happen over the next 4 years. Closer to 40. Are we going to dip down to 25? Are we going to stay steady? Are we going to print more money? Is it going to be fake market going up, more stagflation? Powell said he's not he's not raising interest rates. He's going to keep it at negative, 0%, which means till 2023 rates, home property value is probably going to stay the same. They're going to have to eventually raise the interest rates. When they raise the interest rates, what's going to happen to real estate? Economy has to take a hit.
Yeah.
There has to be a hit to be taken. You can't go 0% interest rate from Powell for the next 20 years. That's fake economy. We have a fake economy. So And Powell said it 6 months ago that he's not raising the rates till 2023.
Right.
What does that mean, not till 2023? So I don't know. My guesstimation is that not a lot is going to change, and shit's going to hit the fan in 2024. I think the next couple of years is not actually going to be crazy. I think the next couple of years is going to be relatively the same. Maybe it's going to go up a little bit. Maybe it's going to go down a little bit.